Welcome to the Obesity Medicine Podcast with your host, Dr. Matea Rentia, board certified in internal medicine and obesity medicine. Here, we talk about a path to metabolic health, and we have real conversations about chronic weight management and living a full life. Just a reminder, I am a physician, but I'm not your physician. So everything that's on this podcast is for informational purposes, but please go talk to your doctor about what's right for you. There is no medical advice being given on this podcast. Welcome back. Okay, today I've got something really cool. I'm going to tell you about my new 30/30 program, and I'm really excited about this. I actually have not done a program for the past year. The reason being my clinic really grew this past year. I also did a lot of learning and going to conferences and different things, and I don't run programs when I'm not able to 100% commit to them. But I have been thinking, don't you worry. I love running programs. I absolutely love being in community with all of you. We just have the best group ever that comes and participates in these programs. And so I've really been thinking about, hey, what do people need? What's going to get them to the next level? What's the type of community that we can build? And so I've really figured out what I think is going to be absolutely amazing. I'm going to tell you about it today. I am positive you're going to have questions. So we're going to see if we do a live Q&A call at some point, if there are a lot of questions that I'm being asked, or maybe I'll just record another podcast. We'll see. But just to kind of tell you nuts and bolts about this is going to be live. It's going to be live the month of September. And so what's really amazing about this group, we're not only going to meet weekly. So of course, we always do a meeting a week or two before the program so that we can all kind of get situated. Because of course, I always have some thoughts about what would be really fun for us to do. You can almost think about this as like a challenge. The whole goal here really being that we're going to break some habits and we're going to really learn to creatively think in some different ways with nutrition, what we're eating, how we're eating it, with movement, things like that. This is a very practical break old habits place. Like, we are going to mix things up. But the thing that's very unique always about the groups that I do, it's a very supportive community. So not only are we going to meet weekly, I've actually scheduled it out for an hour and a half. I know that might sound overwhelming, but if you've never done groups with me, what I really like to do is make sure that everyone gets to check in with how things are going, gets time to talk, we get time to reflect, to share ideas, to kind of bounce things off each other. And that really, I have found, just takes more than an hour. And so I'm just dedicating more time to each call. And then the other thing that I'm honestly really excited about is that within this group, we're going to have a WhatsApp group that I'm going to be part of with all of you. And the energy that I really want to cultivate in there, I really want this to be a place where we're going to share the different things we're making, maybe how we're packing food, what we're eating, the different things we're trying. You'll see what I'm talking about in a second. Maybe there's some inspirational quote that we saw. I just want it to be a space where we can where you're like, yeah, I want to share this with the group. And I can see myself doing a lot of walk and talk and like doing audio messages to you guys on there. If you haven't used WhatsApp before, it's just really nice because we're not going to have to kind of be in Facebook or TikTok or Instagram. We're not going to kind of have to be in that ecosystem, but we can have a way to just communicate easily. And it's really easy to do audio messages, video, photo, all of it. So let me tell you what the premise here is. It's really going to be a month program. By the way, I'm going to start out with this. I know some of you are going to say, well, September's not good for me. And you're going to want to know if I do it again. Tentatively right now, I do actually want to offer this every few months. And I'll tell you my thought process. I'm really seeing this as think like the word practicum. Like, you're really going to be able to actively play with these concepts, really apply it, really do the stuff, really get into it, like fully focus for a month. I don't think people can do more than a month when it really comes to doing new things and really implementing different strategies and things. And then you really need to sort of solidify and practice for 3-4 months. So my thought process being next year, I might also offer it January, May, and September. But I say that, and that's assuming that that the program goes how I think, or that, all those kind of things. But I would say if you're wanting to do this, go ahead and do the September one. So what I'm going to do with every round is that the replays and everything we're going to do, you're going to have access until the next one. So up to 4 months, you'll have access. Let's say you're doing the September group, you'll have access to all of that until the beginning of January. Then everything will go down and then we'll start the next group. And every group always has its own type of energy when we do it. So the whole point of this group is this. Number one, we're going to be in community. We're going to bust up some old things. Everyone gets in a rut. Hands up if you do the same thing all the time. I know I'm guilty of this. My hand is wide up right now. It's very high. So you get in these ruts, right? And at first you think it serves you because you're like, well, this is working for me. But then the inevitable happens. You get in these plateaus, you get in these ruts, you sort of just feel horrible with how things are going, but you've been doing it that way all along. And why is it not working anymore? And what's wrong with me? So we need different strategies. So what we're going to do is, I have wanted to do this for so long. Those of you that have listened, you know this. I have wanted to do something where we work on the gut microbiome. The gut microbiome are all the bacteria within our gut, and they really help support us as far as what our health looks like. They very much so play a part in weight management. We don't talk a lot about this because it's actually really complicated, but one of the things that's really supportive to that gut microbiome, it's a diversity of fruits, veggies, nuts, seeds, things like that. It really helps feed the good guys in our gut. And so one of the challenges that I'm going to have during that month for you is that you get 30 different fruits, veggies, nuts, seeds. And it's not that you, let's say, can't eat, I don't know, baby carrots twice, but it's just the fact that we're going to have a variety, and it's going to be up to you as far as what you pick and choose, but it's going to be sort of gamified that we get that in. Now, if you're someone, I just want to speak to those of you in the crowd that are advanced. Maybe you're like, I already mix it all up and do all the things. Then don't worry. I have a 2.0 to make it even harder for you. But most of us are not varying the foods we're eating all the time, buying diverse all the time. And so that is going to be super fun. That's one aspect. The second aspect, you know my protein obsession, and I will tell you why. I cannot tell you all the amazing in-body results that I'm seeing with my patients that are getting enough protein consistently. They are losing fat and either not losing muscle or not losing more than 10%. It's phenomenal. Or some of them are actually gaining muscle at the same time that they're losing fat. And a lot of that has to do with their protein intake. So the second thing we're going to do in this program, we're going to get 30 grams of protein either 3 times a day, or if you are doing more time restricted eating and maybe you're only eating twice a day, then maybe 45 grams with each of those. But we're just going to stress the protein intake. We're going to see creative ways to get it done. I'm actually going to integrate in here a lot of knowledge and helpful techniques that I'm seeing. They're a little bit more advanced as far as like using protein appetizers to control things like ghrelin and leptin if you have a hard time signaling with satiety. So again, all that's going to kind of come into this program. And then the third aspect, honestly, if we're not moving, we don't have emotional regulation, we are not able to think creatively when we're not moving in some capacity. I just really see this being a big block. We tend to really be in our emotion center of our brain and not in the logical thinking part. There's this term sort of you flip your lid, meaning the top of your brain, that prefrontal cortex where you're doing all the thinking. If you're not ever grounding yourself in some capacity, and movement is such a good way to get grounded, you really live in the habit part of your brain and the emotion part of your brain, which is running on autopilot, and you're not able to sort of get to the next level with things. And so with this movement, because I'm not just about, okay, we're going to go to the gym all the time, I really want, you notice the pattern 30, 30, 30. So we're doing the 30 different fruits, nuts, seeds, all that. We're doing the 30 grams of protein 3 times a day. And then we're going to do 30 different movement opportunities. Now, again, I'm not going to get all into it here because this is part of the program. This is not, we go do hard things 30 times. No, it can be if that's your flavor, but this is really about maybe you're going to try a new thing once a week. Maybe the other days you're just going to do a walk, or you're going to see, hey, what happens if I do some strength training and this and that? You're going to mix it up. I'm going to give you some guidance on that. The whole point being here, I want you to think of this as like a snow globe experiment where we're going to shake things up a little bit so that you get some different results in your life. It is very hard when you're just doing the same humdrum thing all the time in life to get new results. We need experiences like this where we talk to other people, we get inspired by different things they're saying, we get motivated, we have a little bit of like having to write our health goals down daily or doing something else. I'll have some guidance on all of this. It's not going to be an overwhelming workbook, but you know that I always have something for you to kind of like dig your teeth into, right? I think this is going to be really fun. I am super excited to do all this. And just know I laid out a lot here, but it's because some of you will need to actually dig into all these areas. Others, you maybe will just pick 1 or 2 areas. You can very much so customize it, but I really think that weekly, what we're going to talk about and go over, I think it's going to be really amazing. And the biggest thing that I want, honestly, is just for us to be able to share and to go through this experience together. When we're going through change and times are hard, right? in the beginning when it's like, how do I make this happen? This happened, that happened, for us to be able to troubleshoot it in real time. So that's really why we have not just the weekly calls, but also the daily check-in. And I think this is going to be really fun. I'm really excited for this. I hope that you join me in September for this. We will have the active registration link right now. Yes, we are registering early because if you know me, I'm someone that I like to get resources to you ahead of time. I like to make it a nice experience, and there's nothing worse than, oh, the thing starts tomorrow and it's half over and you didn't even figure out what to do, right? So we're going to have the registration link down below in the show notes. If you can't find where that is, you can go to rentiaclinic.com. We have courses offered and it's right there, the 30/30 program. If you have questions about any of this, by the way, on the sales page, we have listed out the call times and everything. It was really a juggling act to figure out when are we going to have these calls live. The other thing I want to encourage you, I always have a way where you can ask questions ahead of time. If you're not able to come to those calls, the recordings go up afterward. We always do a members only podcast, meaning it's really easy to listen to replays after if you're not someone that's actively on the main call. But as much as possible, if you can, it's always best to get to the main call. But I'm really excited for this. I've wanted to do this for so long, and I was sort of just kicking around ideas. And first I thought of this and then I thought of that. And I've been percolating on this for months. So I'm so glad that it's finally here, that the 30/30 program is live for registration. Know that we are capping this at small group. We're not going over 20 for this group. I don't even know if we'll get there. And know that if we reach that, we are going to turn off registration and we'll go to a waitlist page. So just know if you click on it and you're trying to register and you get, oh, hey, sorry you missed this, click here to get on the waitlist for the next round. Just know that you've missed it. But again, the next one will be coming up in a few months. So I hope that you get to join me for this. I am super pumped and excited. I think it's going to be a really nice community-filled experience where we're just going to do some different stuff that I've not seen put together in this way. And my communities are always very inclusive. They're very much so a safe space. Like, we don't force you to do all the things. It's really, hey, let's take a look at this and here's why I laid it out in this way, but then you can really pick what works for you. And we really bring it to your ability level. I really want to stress that this is not this overwhelming experience where like everything needs to happen perfect. It's a playground. Like, we're getting in the sandbox together. I cannot stress this enough. Having worked with patients and coaching clients for years now, I just had two. I just had two patients this week tell me, I'm a year in, and isn't it funny that now XYZ is what I really get? You would have thought that right in the beginning I would have got it, but now I understand this. No, it takes time to play around with things, to kind of get granular, to have this really practical experience, to be in a great community where other people are doing the same thing, where they'll say, I totally, that happened, and then I figured out this other thing. And you sit there and you're like, oh, if they did that, I can do that. That is where the magic happens. I heard this quote, which I'm sure it's said by someone famous and I'm butchering it, but leave room for magic every single day. That's what we're going to do in this experience. So I hope that this is something that you want to join us for. If it is, again, down in the show notes, the 30/30 program, we're enrolling now. Don't miss out. All right. I hope that you have a great rest of the day, and we'll talk soon. That marks the end of today's episode, but if you're newer to the podcast, I want to tell you about something that we have, and it's a free podcast roadmap. So this is perfect for any of you that are listening where you want to be directed to very specific episodes. So let's say that you are just starting out and you want to know, what should I do right when I start on the medications? Or you're experiencing certain side effects on the GLP-1s, or you want to know what to do if you're in a plateau, or if emotional eating is taking over, or if hunger levels are high. So we have many different categories of episodes that we've talked about, because there's a lot at this point. So if you want to be able to navigate that very easily, we have it broken down by category, and also the episodes that are there, and we hyperlink to everything. So you can just click on it and find the episode, easy peasy. If you want that, you can go to rentiaclinic.com/podcast roadmap. We'll have it linked right here underneath the show notes where you're listening, and you can go ahead and get that free resource so that it makes it easy for you to navigate, because I know that it's really hard when someone has an established podcast. I am such a podcast fiend. I'm listening to podcasts all day long. And when I find one that I love, but there's a lot that are out there, I am so lost. So I hope that you enjoy this free podcast roadmap. Again, the link to get to that is going to be rentiaclinic.com/podcast roadmap. I hope this is helpful and let me know if you have any questions.